Hello, and welcome to the Stool Pigeons on YouTube. I'm Jack Jameswood.
And I'm Harrison Davenport.
Harrison, I think you have part 2 of the cheating story from last time. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. So this is a continuation of the story. My husband is currently on a vacation with his mistress, and I'm confronting them. If you would like to hear the first part of this story, you should see the link popping up right now in the video. This story is coming from r/cheating stories by Hell Hath No Fury, titled, My Husband is Currently on a Vacation with His Mistress and I'm Confronting Them. New Year's Eve Nightmare. It was 12:40 a.m. on New Year's Eve, and there was still no call from him. I was angry for no other reason than I explained to the kids that even though Daddy wasn't with us, he would call at midnight to talk to them and wish them a happy new year. I was made to be a liar. So I texted my soon-to-be ex, and his excuse was, they are with their friends. I didn't want to bother them. Excuse me? Bother them? You mean you didn't want your kids to bother you, is what you were really saying? If I was across the country on New Year's Eve without my kids, I would have called and done the countdown with them via FaceTime. I think most parents would, but not him. He said if you would have told me that you told the kids I'd called, then I would have. He tried to spin this on me, that I created this mess. Why do I have to tell you that you need to call your children at midnight? This small act said a lot to me. Our children are not a priority. I guess he didn't want to ruin his perfect vacation at his new girlfriend's house with her children. He has a nice new family now. Today is my birthday, and he returns this evening. I told him in my New Year's Eve text that I will speak to him on the 12th, our next mediation meeting, because I'm done. I tried to be civil for the kids, but he is not putting forth the effort for them. Liar, liar, pants on fire. The past few days have been strange. We rarely talk, a decision on both our parts, and when we do, it's about mediation, plans moving forward, or the kids. We have been civil and communicating well about those items. We are also friendly in front of the kids so as not to upset them. The situation is strange because we are getting along, there's no arguing, it's a shared focus to just get through mediation and divorce. That's fine by me. Last night, while I was cleaning the kitchen, I heard him on the phone in the basement. I guess he didn't realize the door was left open by one of the children. Not wanting to be a part of the drama anymore, I went to close the door. At that point, I heard him tell her how crazy I'd been acting. Excuse me? We don't speak, and when we do, it's very civil. How is that crazy? Well, he proceeded to tell her about a conversation we had, and he lied about everything. While the conversation part was true, he told her I exploded, I was in a rage, I was crying, etc. None of that was true. He explained how he laughed in my face at my rage. Also not true, because there was no rage. I told him a while back before the New Year's Eve debacle that I would start dating eventually, and he proceeded to tell her that I was bragging about guys I'm meeting. So far from the truth. I slammed the basement door. I'm sure he knows I heard. So I ask, why the need to lie and make me a villain? We aren't staying together. I have no reason to fight with you anymore. That's why we are paying a mediator. Why start lying to your new girlfriend that you love? How is that a good way to start a relationship? I don't know what is happening here. This is my concern. This woman and him are in love and want to start a life together. Okay, that's fine. God bless and congrats. But this woman only knows me by the stories, which I'm assuming are all lies, he has told her about me. If he does move across the country to be with her, how can I trust a woman who hates me because of misinformation to treat my children properly? I don't care if she hates me personally. I'll still sleep fine at night. But now I'm worried about sending my kids in the summer to stay with them. I want to confront him about this, but I know I can't. Maybe it's not that I can't, but I don't know how. Also, he has told no one we are separated, and definitely has not told people why. How come? You initiated this, you cheated, you are happy now, so why can't you tell people? He told his father that he was bringing the kids alone to visit him because he and I weren't seeing eye to eye at the moment. What? I would assume he's afraid to face the music, or is it just finding comfort in the little love bubble he has created? He chooses not to face reality. He has yet to look for an apartment for when the divorce is finalized, but has booked another flight out to see her for Valentine's Day. He is refusing to face reality, and it's so frustrating. Mediation and empty promises. Yesterday was our second mediation appointment. While it was amicable, there was some obvious tension. The tension was not on my end, but more on his. Let me explain. During our first mediation, we brought up the topic that he might move out of state. At yesterday's meeting, I asked what we would do about custody if he moves to this particular state. When I mentioned the state by name, the mediator was confused. This prompted her to ask him why the state is so far away. His answer, well, then silence. He couldn't put into words the fact that he was leaving to be with his girlfriend. I had to finally chime in, realizing we were paying by the hour, that he was moving to be with his girlfriend. I realized later that that was the first time he had semi-confessed to having an affair and a girlfriend to anyone. If you love this person so much, why can't you just say it out loud? That whole situation confuses me. Anyway, when it comes to dollars and cents, I'll be fine. He will also be fine. He will have enough to do what he needs, and so will I. We have agreed to a physical custody scenario that allows him weekend and dinner visits. Fine by me. I want my boys to have their father, but the situation becomes a bit more difficult when he moves. While he said yesterday he plans to stay here at least a year, I doubt that will actually happen. When he does move across the country, he wishes to return for one weekend of every month to see the boys. Again, I'm fine with this scenario, but where will he stay that weekend? He has no family. Will he just be taking the boys to a hotel? Again, I don't think he actually thought this through. This is a problem I/we will tackle when he does decide to move. Lastly, the mediator said it could take about 2 months to finalize everything. He and I spoke after the session to go over some facts and figures, and I brought up the tentative finalization date of our marriage. I told him how 2 months is a good amount of time to save money and find an apartment, to which he agreed. I also reminded him about his promise to not return to visit her until our divorce is finalized, or he has a place to live. He quickly became frustrated, telling me that he knew and tried to shut down the conversation. I told him I'm happy that we are on the same page, but I'm not budging. If you leave while you still live here, you cannot come back. That is something we both agreed to. Now the big question remains, who does he break a promise with? Obviously, it's a win-win for me. Stay home and help me with the kids while you save $500 plus and move out quickly, or leave to visit her and I get you out of the house sooner. I'm happy with either decision. I just want to move on with my life and enjoy my moments with my children. Out for a swim. When I took this dive into the Reddit community, I had no idea where I would land. I thought my feet would hit shallow ground and I would be ankle deep on the banks in an uncomfortable swimsuit all alone. But to my surprise, this deep ocean of Reddit readers have engulfed me into their warm waters, and I'm surrounded by a sea of support. For this, I'm thankful. I'm also so touched by the droves of people who have reached out for advice or offered their own experiences as lessons to be learned. To the ones seeking advice, I tell them, I'm not an expert swimmer. I'm merely doggy paddling through this sea of hurt and confusion. Please don't use me as a sign of strength, because the truth is, I'm not strong. I am you. I'm the woman who reads because they are suspicious of the late-night phone call her husband takes. I'm the spouse who has shouldered the entire family and is in desperate need of support. I'm the woman who misses affection from her husband who is next to her in bed every night. I am you. To those people who have yet to catch their partner cheating but are suspicious, trust your gut. Cheating is a coward's choice, so be braver than them and face the truth. To the spouse who is the fixer and takes on every challenge, take a step back. When you help, even with good intention, you're actually just hurting yourself. To the spouse who has tried everything to receive physical attention from their partner, but to no avail, their affection is probably going somewhere else. These are lessons I wish I could have told myself months, if not years ago. Listen to me, or just listen to you. To the sharks in the water who call me a bad mom, a crazy bitch, fake, or even just think I'm out of my mind, you will find no blood in this water. So it's best you move on and find a thread where the OP will chum the water for you. It's so very easy to read and judge. This I understand. I just hope that if this ever happens to you, that you will be as brave, logical, and composed as you expect others to be. If not, you will find sharks circling you as well. So I hope you're as strong of a swimmer as you claim to be. If you're still reading, my saga/survival continues. Our final mediation papers will arrive this week. We were able to settle everything at the last meeting on 1/12, and the documents just need our signature. After that, the divorce papers need to be served and filed with the county. Then we await our court date, which will be done via Zoom. Yes, a bit anticlimactic, but it'll still serve its purpose of divorcing. He has started, finally, to look for an apartment, but nothing is to his satisfaction. Maybe he's being picky, or maybe he is comfortable living in the basement. Either way, once the divorce papers are stamped, he needs to be gone. He has started making phone calls to her during the day, and I can hear him giggling downstairs. I'm happy he is happy. I really am. That isn't passive-aggressive. I know I'll be happy one day too. He just got there first, and that's okay. I feel my life is in limbo right now. I can't move forward because I'm chained to the past. I'm hoping his move will be soon. I suspect he wants out for February 1st so he can go visit her for Valentine's Day. I hope for his sake, and mine, that he makes his deadline. I will update again after I receive the mediation paperwork and divorce papers are served. I'm sure that will stir up a lot of thought and emotion, so I'm certain it will be a doozy. Till then, I'll keep doggy paddling. Souvenirs. If you've been following along, then you know that there was a chance he would leave for Valentine's Day to go visit her. Well, he left this morning. He told the kids, "I'm going," as he walked out the door, leaving me to explain a few hours later that he had to leave to work when they started asking for him. I've learned that I can't have expectations. Just because I would try to be more honest with the kids doesn't mean he would. I was really proud of the fact that I didn't even engage him in the discussion/debate/argument of going. Yes, I had loudly vocalized some feelings a week ago when he told me he was going, but I have not engaged him about it since. All I asked for was his flight info so that I would know when to expect him back. He did not provide this information. Maybe he thinks I'm not entitled to it. Either way, he left and I was fine. While we had the conversation multiple times, in which he agreed that he would not visit her again until he had an apartment, he has reneged on that agreement. Shocker. He claims that he has every right to be here, which he does legally, and he can do as he pleases. He put a down payment on an apartment a few days ago, but says he doesn't know when he is moving. What? The bills he pays in the house are less than the child support he will have to pay, so I think his decision to stay longer might be a financial one. I've offered him any piece of furniture he wants in the house. I even offered to pay for half of the cost of bunk beds for the boys. I just need him to leave. I have no idea why he is dragging his feet, but I learned through a mutual friend and a former work colleague of theirs that she recently had COVID. When I say recently, I mean the Board of Health from her state said she could stop quarantining 3 days ago. But what about her kids that are in the home? Were they living there during quarantine? Are they positive? Perhaps they are asymptomatic? Will my soon-to-be ex be bringing me and our children home a COVID souvenir? I'm livid. COVID insensitivity. For all those messaging me with concern and for updates, I apologize for my tardiness. It has been a heartbreaking 2 weeks. To amend for my absence, I'll be posting 2 updates tonight. Let me start from the beginning. My soon-to-be ex left for his getaway on 2/12 and did not return until 2/15. During his blissful vacation, my family and I suffered a great loss of one of our most beloved members to COVID. I was a mess. Everyone I love was devastated. I called my soon-to-be ex on 2/13 and told him the prognosis was not good. It was loud where he was. There were children yelling. He informed me he was outside with her kids. Wow. Can't remember the last time he took our children outside, but I digress. I shouldn't have expected him to care about my bad news, but he was concerned. I guess there is still a decent bone somewhere in him. That concern would not last long, though. Upon his return, as he usually does, he schedules a COVID test. He scheduled one for 4 days after his return, but due to snow in our area, he did not go. This I understand. The weather cannot be controlled. Then he told me he rescheduled for 4 days later and then did not go. When I questioned him, his response was, "I feel fine." I suspected since she probably got a negative COVID test shortly before his arrival, he felt safe in not getting one. Not until Monday, 3/1, did he finally get tested. A full 2 weeks later. Why? You know my family just suffered a terrible loss to COVID. How could you be so reckless and insensitive? The insensitive question is rhetorical. I obviously know the answer already. The real monster. The day is approaching. Large boxes are being delivered to the house daily containing new furniture to be assembled. The sounds of packing tape being ripped from the spool flood the house every evening. He's moving out. I'm overjoyed. I'm so happy that I have actually started engaging him in conversation. Yes, we have to chat to figure out child support and scheduling, but now I'm so ecstatic that he's leaving, I even ask about his move. I feel like a kid at Christmas. While we were discussing his move, what he would be taking from the home and the schedule for seeing the children, I asked if he planned to visit her. No, this wasn't me prying. We need to set an overnight and weekend schedule for the kids, and I was hoping to be accommodating to any trips he had planned. But then my curiosity got the best of me, but for a good reason. Our children. I asked if she plans to come here to meet the kids. He replied in the affirmative and said she may come. Well, good for you both, but I would like to meet her before she meets the children. He went silent. I could tell he was rolling thoughts around in his head or perhaps trying to figure a way out of this situation, but he came up empty. He honestly wanted to know why I needed to meet her. Excuse me, come again? You really think I would let my children spend time with someone I didn't know? I'm the mother that interviews babysitters. Why would you think I wouldn't want to meet her? He claims to be worried that I won't be civil, but he knows me better than that. I have nothing to gain from being rude to her. It's just ammo. I refuse to play that game. Plus, why would I care? I don't want him. That's your prize now, honey. Congrats. But he recognizes that he can't stop me from doing this. I have every right to meet her, as he would need to meet someone I'm dating. When it comes to the kids, he/we can't keep secrets. I think the real concern about us meeting is this. She will realize I'm not the horrible monster he made me out to be. His plans of assassinating my character to build himself up or to receive pity from her and the constant gaslighting will be revealed. She will see that I'm not pining over him, quarreling with him, and that I'm genuinely a good person. Maybe she will see that he might be the real monster, like father, like son. My soon-to-be ex was quiet, more quiet than usual, almost sulking. I don't understand his motivations anymore and what he actually cares about, so I left it alone. Not my business to care and comfort anymore, right? That evening, after the children went to bed, he sat alone at the dining room table. It was as if he was waiting for me to address him. I did not. Sulk, that's your issue, not mine. After he received no attention from me, he made the big announcement. He claims he told everyone what happened between us, including his father. Then, oddly enough, he started to cry. Full, ugly tears. I thought these were tears of embarrassment and shame. He then proceeded to tell me the conversation he had with his father was the first time his dad has actually acted like a father towards him. While that statement in itself is unsettling, it is also confusing. I'm guessing his father supported him. I know if this was my son, I'd support him, but also have some strong words about how he went about this and how he should probably proceed in the future. But it looks like he received 100% support. So while I understand, I don't understand. Something was wrong here. Last week was my youngest son's birthday. I'd asked my soon-to-be ex if he would like to invite his father over for cake. He texted him several times with no response. He learned through their conversation/confession last night that his father was in another state for work. Okay, understandable. But here's the kicker. He went away with a new girl he is dating. Why is this strange, you ask? He just asked his wife of 30 years for a divorce at the end of January. So this makes me think, is adultery a learned behavior? My father-in-law abandoned my soon-to-be ex when he was 9 years old, the same age as my eldest son now. Is there a pattern here, or is it all just a crazy coincidence? I could not help myself. I messaged my mother-in-law. She confirmed they were divorcing. I asked if there was any infidelity, and she claims to her knowledge, no. But I know better. She said that my father-in-law started to withdraw from her. He started picking fights for no reason and avoided interacting with her last fall. Then in January, he said he wanted a divorce so that he could find himself. A man who is in his 60s, close to retirement, needs to find himself. Sounds like a cop-out to me. But now that I've learned there's another woman, which my mother-in-law does not know, I understand that his bloodline of men are truly selfish and unfit partners. I know all the comments will tell me to tell my mother-in-law about infidelity on his part, and I plan on doing so. I just need a little more information before I break the news to her. Moving trucks and spilled tea. It happened. Finally, he's gone. My basement is so empty and echoing. The day he moved, a box truck pulled up to my house, and my children ran to the window to watch. I didn't know how to distract them as I was working. I was able to pull them away from the window with the promise of treats once they are at the table to do schoolwork. My youngest, though, would not budge. After 45 minutes of loading, the truck pulled away and my soon-to-be ex drove off. My youngest came away from the window looking sad. I immediately talked to him and tried to comfort him. After a few moments, he asked, "Is the truck coming back?" I was confused. I told him that we were staying here and no one else was moving. Apparently, he wasn't upset that Daddy was leaving. He just wanted the truck. I'm not sure how I should feel about this. I made appointments with a child support therapist for both my kids. While they seem fine now, I'm not sure what the future holds for their mental state. I'm afraid this will be repressed and issues will arise down the road. His friends have been reaching out to me now that they know what happened. I'm getting text and Facebook messages asking how I am. I know in reality, they are just being nosy. They may care a little, but they are just wanting me to spill the tea. Welp, I put the kettle on. I wasn't surprised to learn that my soon-to-be ex wasn't completely honest with them. He failed to mention traveling during a pandemic to visit her. I guess that would make him look reckless, selfish, idiotic. The wives of his friends are in shock. They considered my soon-to-be ex a friend that could be trusted, a man who had it all together. Basically, they trusted my soon-to-be ex would be a good influence on their husbands. Boy, were they wrong. Concerning my mother-in-law, I've not told her. This is because I don't have any real information. What I did tell her, though, was to do some investigating to see if he's having an affair. This would be to her benefit, as her state has adultery laws. They are still legally married and living in the same house, so to my knowledge, the law applies. But she seems hesitant. I think she is just afraid to find out the truth, and then she has to look at him every day. This I understand. No spouse should have to experience that. I know it was gut-wrenching for me, and perhaps many of you reading can relate as well. I just don't want to be the one to tell her. Perhaps this is because I'm still upset I had to find out on my own, and my soon-to-be ex was too much of a coward to come clean. Why should a cheating spouse get the thrill of cheating and be relieved of the burden of having to confess? Okay, Jack, so that brings us to the end of the story. Did we have any good comments?
So yeah, Harrison, I have a couple of comments, but first I just wanted to say I think a lot of us can relate to a lot of the lines and the scenes from this story. You know, I'm merely doggy paddling through this sea of hurt and confusion. I think we've all felt that. And I think we can all relate to the son looking out the window as the father drives away in the truck and asking the mother, "When's the truck coming back?" A lot of very deep psychological insights on this story. But yes, we did have 4 comments that I thought were noteworthy. We have Revenge Society, who summarized the thread in this way: the truth is like poetry, and most people fucking hate poetry. Scone again says, "You are a legend. I was very unoriginal and put all of his bags, packed them on the porch when he turned up. I wish I'd kept my cool and found out more." And Continuous Clover says, "Go scorched earth on those traitors." Rubs hands in anticipation. "I'm so ready for an update."
Well, and that update may be coming soon enough because the original poster has actually written another post that we will probably be getting to over the next couple of weeks.
Stay tuned for that. But Harrison, I did think it was interesting. I'd never really considered a lot of people turn to Reddit, which is a good place to express, you know, your concerns and frustrations about relationships or anything else. It would be interesting to see a divorce or a court proceeding go either way based on a Reddit post. Could you imagine if the Stool Pigeons shows up in a trial over custody?
Right. They just let us narrate the divorce. They let us narrate all of the proceedings. They just give us the transcripts that we actually read over the Zoom call.
Yes, we turn up in an amicus brief at a Supreme Court case for whatever reason because we read it on a cheating story. But anyway, if any of that happens, you'll have to stay tuned. Harrison, you ready to get out of here?
That sounds good. Okay, everyone. Thank you for listening. And don't forget, our podcast is available on all platforms. And don't forget to rate, give us a thumbs up, and subscribe. Okay, thank you for listening.